Hi, Jeff Dorian here from thesoapguy.com. Welcome to our information about how to make the best bath bombs in the world. Okay, don't forget, in order to get in the contest where we give away $10,000 worth of bath and body products, you have to subscribe to our channel. The rest of the information is at thesoapguy.com. So don't forget, please subscribe to our channel so that you can get your name in the hat for the big prize. Alright, there's a few secrets for when you're making bath bombs. And I went and tried to look up the information that I initially got about 5 years ago so I could give credit to the first person who sent out the ebook, and I couldn't find it. But this information is readily available, but it is a little bit tricky. So I want to go over a few of the things that we found out over the years that really help. Number one thing is that you have to have the exact correct proportion of citric acid to baking soda. It has to be 2 to 1. Okay, so it's 2 parts baking soda, 1 part citric acid. If you're going to add anything else, if you're going to add Epsom salts, if you're going to add some clay or some cornstarch, any of that, take that, first off, make the percentage very small, all right? Second thing is take that percentage out of the baking soda and make sure that the citric acid percentage stays at about 1/3. That's the thing that gives it the reaction, okay, that really gets that thing to stick together, okay? Number 2 secret for making bath bombs is that the biggest companies in the world, and this was from the original ebook that I got, that are making bath bombs. They're making tens of thousands every day. They make them by hand. They do not use the press, all right? So we get those plastic Christmas ball, I don't even know what you call them. So they're sort of molds. They weren't originally made for molds, and that's what we use here, and we push that together, all right? And one of the reasons is that you get a real feel for the density when you're using your hands. You start putting stuff in a machine and start cranking it down, you don't get a feel for how much pressure and the density of the bath bomb that you're making. So that's number 2. Number 2 is that it is made by hand. All right, the number 3 secret for making really nice bath bombs is that the citric acid has to be granular. All right, you can buy different types of citric acid, and you can buy it in all different types of beads. But if it's the really fine citric acid, we find that that one does not work that well at all. All right, so keep that in mind. If you get the granular citric acid, it's going to work 1,000 times better as far as your end product. It's not going to bubble and shrink and get flat and all those other types of things. So keep that in mind. One last thing, if you're using any type of fat at all, if you're using some shea butter or some coconut or some, I see cocoa butter, I see people are all putting all different types of fats in there. Be very careful not to use too much, all right, but you have to use some. So if you're going to use any of these, and some of them are solid, you might want to melt them, some of them are not if you're putting in some, some grapeseed or, almond oil or any one of those types in there, all right? Use a tablespoon. Take a tablespoon or less, all right? When you're using, for us, it's when we're mixing 1 bowl, it would be 4 cups of the baking soda and 2 cups of the citric acid, and we'd use just under a tablespoon of the oil, whichever fat that you're using. Put that in first and mix that in. Mix that in as well as you can. Then you add your water after that, okay? And that will make, without any extra ingredients, if you push that in, that's going to make a solid ball. As far as the amount of water that we put in with that much ingredients, we'd put in about 1/3 of a cup. As a matter of fact, it's exactly 1/3 of a cup because that's the exact measurement that we're using, that we have here when we mix those. All right? So keep all of those things in mind when you're making bath bombs. The last thing I'm going to say is practice. We did dozens and dozens of batches before we finally got the timing right. And you'll see in the picture there where Myra's making the bath bombs, what an excellent job she's doing as she pushes that together and how cool it looks. But it's all from practice, and the more you make, the better you'll get at it. So I hope that those pointers, secrets, tips, whatever you guys want to call them, really help you guys out as far as making the best bath bombs. There you go. Thanks a lot. Don't forget to subscribe. I want one of you guys to win the big prize, all right? One of our regular subscribers and regular customers. Thanks. We'll see you next time.